What is happening, Flip Flop fam? I'm super excited to have Derick here. But Derick, for people who don't know, who are you and what do you do?
Hey, first off, Rodric, thank you for having me. I'm Derick Sebastian, ukulele artist from Maui, born and raised, and been very blessed to be able to be part of this ukulele journey of 31 years that has taken me all around the world, performing and meeting amazing people along the way, and just it's just been a whole lot of things to process and a whole lot of it's been a journey.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah.
Well, this is going to be kind of an out of left field question, and only certain people are going to know what I'm asking. But do you know Iam Tongi?
Iam Tongi, I have met him.
Okay.
But I don't know him personally yet. It's a small world, friends of friends and cousins of cousins, and he comes to Maui a lot actually. His like I said, his family all over the place. So yeah,
Yeah.
Iam Tongi is awesome. He's a sweet guy, man.
I ask, and people probably don't know this about me, but like I watch very little television, but I always watch American Idol and I always watch Big Brother, like like the two shows that I
He's
watch.
awesome, man. He's great
Yeah,
for
it was
sure.
so much fun watching that season. But
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
give me a little bit of the music. I definitely want to talk about your book because I know that's coming out soon, but
Wow.
give me the music background. Kind of how did you get started? Were you a kid? Was it a family thing?
Oh, well, long story short, man, or maybe long story long. I grew up playing sports, man. And the story was, my dad passed away when I was 3 years old. So, growing up, but in the beginning, it didn't really affect me. But when I started to get older, maybe like 7, 8, 9 years old, whatever, I started to question, like, man, how come I don't have a dad around and all my friends and classmates, their open houses, all their parents are there, but here I am with probably my sister or whatever or auntie, and I kind of like, I just kind of question, man, question life a little bit, and I found sports, baseball, and all that stuff. It really gave me a whole new perspective of like, oh wow, this is cool. I get to find something to do and get my mind off it a little bit. But when I turned 11 years old, man, sixth grade, junior high, my asthma got really bad, really, really bad, where doctor said, hey, no sports. All you got to do is go back home, go school, go back home and just rest. And that really floored me again. And it would make me feel like, oh man, like nothing's really working out again and this and that. And one day during recess there's this long benches along, and it was just I was my our good friend long term long I mean he's a family friend, Mr. Ellis, and he was playing his ukulele on the school bench, and I saw that, and it really struck a chord. He was so happy and joyful, and he was just going at it and having fun. And when I saw that, and Mr. Ellis had, just the pure joy, I just like, wow, that is so cool. And just was that was the beginning of something great, man. He invited me to sit on the bench, and I started kind of trying the ukulele, and it would sound terrible, but it was like fun, and it that was a start. 11 years old, so yeah, that was it.
So you started 11 years old. Like what doors has planned? And it's out here in Appalachia, we call it the ukulele, just so you know what
Sounds good
Derek's
to me,
saying.
man. Sounds
Um,
good, Roderick. It's all
the
good.
bluegrass bands would call it the
Yes,
ukulele.
sir.
What doors did just having that, playing that instrument, having that be part of your life open for you?
Well, it allowed me to dream. It allowed me to uh experience hope again, if that makes sense. It just gave a light, and we started to jam, me and Mr. Ellis, throughout those 6, 7, 8 8 year, 8th grade years. And it was awesome, and again, I just was open to it's the possibilities of, wow, how can we take this instrument to another level, and whatnot. And yeah, we started to perform ukulele contests, talent competition, or I started doing solo things, and Mr. Ellis became more of a mentor. And I started to speak not just music but life. He became like my Hanai dad in Hawaii. It's like an adopted father, and became really really close. And yeah, it was just a journey of the with the ukulele, having it activate some amazing relationships and just the aloha, just sharing that love and aloha through the instrument. It really changed my life. I mean, I ended up going back, into sports in high school and so forth, but I had opportunities to further sports, but the music calling was a little bit more deeper and stronger. The calling was there, and I approached music, and I started to, um, you know, granted my, with the ukulele being so popular back then, it was just a spike. I started to do ukulele festivals and traveling to the US, and um, you know, um, started to do like house concerts, workshops, I mean festivals, music festivals, and all that stuff, and sporting events, national anthems. Just they started calling, and halftime shows and international touring and stuff. Like it was just insane, to know that I was able to go overseas, Australia, Thailand, Philippines, Korea, China, Europe, Canada, Finland. I don't know. It was it was just mind blowing. So TED Talk, whatever, man. And like I said, is what a it was been a it's been a blessed journey so far. So
So I want to just selfishly, I want to touch on the travel a little bit because I'm a huge travel guy, and
yeah.
I'm just curious what your favorite country or two have been.
Well, I would say Europe, but man, I went there in the winter, man. And if you know what I'm talking about, man, this island boy from Maui seeing all that white snow and minus degrees, I was frozen. I still feel frozen right now, to be quite honest. But it was a beautiful tour. We started in Germany, in Frankfurt, Finland, Helsinki, and then Estonia, and then back to Canada or something like that. It was all winter. It was in January. I would love to say that was my favorite. But to be honest, I think South Korea was very welcoming. Again, it was just that ukulele spike, man. I mean, it was amazing. I think Asia area would be my by far. South Korea was just crazy ukulele fanatics. Um, Thailand was a good one too, but Philippines I think was very meaningful because my mom and dad are from the Philippines, and to explore there and to experience their cultural like face to face and how humbling that experience was. I just didn't realize how good I got it and how great I got it until I went to Philippines too. So, I just got, a different perspective and very appreciative of, what I have and, what I've gone through and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think South Korea, maybe.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. Yeah, Southeast Asia is my spot. I mean, I'm a Thailand guy, so
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's great, man.
absolutely. So take me, I want to talk about the book and not necessarily why you wrote the book. I do want to talk about that, but I want to talk about finishing the book because I know hundreds of people and collectively we know millions of people. They're all writing a book. And to finish it, I know what it's like to get that book across the finish line with
Yeah.
$1 million flip-flops. And so I want to
Yeah.
hear about that. I want to hear about what was the drive to start it, but what really got you over the finish line.
Oh, I think the drive and to finish is pretty much the same reason. It's really, I have really good friends in the publishing company and the entertainment industry. And I was sitting across my good friend, and he's a publishing coach. He's a coach. I mean, he writes books, he coaches, and all that good stuff. And we sat across. We're having coffee or something, and he said, "Hey, I think it's time to just really be focusing on writing because I was already songwriting and stuff like that." So I said, "Hey, I am writing." But he said, "No, I think people need to hear a little bit more of your stories in a deeper way." And I said, "Nah, we're good for now." And I just kept brushing him off. And he said, "Listen, you got three boys, and right now they're like 19, 16, and 14, and they need to know your real story one day when they have their own kids, grandkids, and he said it's your legacy. They want to know who Derick Sebastian was or is or whatever." And it's important. And I kind of thought about it. And it's that if, at the very least, if it's just a table book for the next generation to come, and this is where we came from. I thought that, like, wow, that struck, I mean, that struck all my heartstrings. Like, wow, that is like very deep. And that really motivated me at the beginning of this year to just do, just transform the mindset of, okay, started to write, and very, just structured writing, just mind map first, just ideas, 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 ideas. And then all of a sudden, it's just a big mess of ideas. And then I started to pick this idea, and then I started to elaborate. And, Roderick, I think the hard, not hardest, but the most emotional process was reliving the moments. And thinking about what I went through, good and bad, highs, lows, everything in between. I think that was I mean, I was writing here in the studio, and, I start to cry, get emotional about, of everything that, you thinking about, of what you went through. And, it came real deep. And I think that reflected in the writing. But yeah, to finish it, man, it's just knowing the fact that one day, maybe, hopefully, it will impact lives, not just my family, my legacy, but hopefully others as well, sharing stories of, not just my music, but relationships, and the trials, the tribulations, the adversity, and overcoming that, and the mindset, and just being appreciative and living through aloha spirit, being grateful and not taking things for granted. That those stories that really struck me, and hopefully that will inspire. So yeah, and still in the work in progress. But hey, one step at a time.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I think when I wrote Million Dollar Flip Flops, it was, you don't realize how cathartic it's going to be for you and your soul and
Mm,
there's a lot of healing that goes along with writing a book.
sure.
And I think to some degree that's why people never publish, is because they got what they needed out of it that maybe they didn't realize they needed out of it,
Yeah.
and they no
Yeah. I
longer
agree.
need to share it with the world. But you know, I was in a similar boat as you. I had semi-retired. I sold my company a couple years ago. I was sitting on a beach in Thailand, in fact. And
Wow.
I looked over at Nicole and I said, we got to give it all away. And like I had been ruminating this thing where it's like I'd been through so much in 40 short years, losing a parent and running
Mhm.
multiple companies and just being shot down again and again and again. I went through divorce. I went through all of these things.
Mm.
And it was like this all just shouldn't die in my head. There's something in here that if it helps even one person, it's worth putting it on paper. So I love to hear that was part of your journey as well.
100%, man. I agree. And, I really, crossing paths with you, with souls like you that have, I mean, we're all human beings, right? Nothing is always perfect and work out as planned, but to share stories and to, basically, we're here to help each other walk home, through our differences, through our different beliefs. But the beauty of it is, I mean, we all learn from each other. It doesn't matter our status or how much we make or what we wear or what we drive. At the end of the day, the most beautiful thing that I learned, at least in my music journey, is not the talent and going on these stages with big lights and whatever, people cheering. I think the most beautiful thing is the relationships that help help us carry us through. And, like your story, I'm sure you have people who held you accountable or encouraged you and love you and said, hey, the worst thing can happen is it doesn't work out and you just next take a right turn or just detour, and most people, man, a lot of, not most, I shouldn't say most, but some that I know, they just afraid to take that step outside of that comfort circle, and they don't want to hear the no, or they just totally believe that they're not good enough or to try or at least to see what happens. So hopefully my book encourages that. It does. It's like help manifesting your passion into your profession and just show up and see where it goes. So
Yeah. Yeah, man, a lot to unpack there. So the subtitle of my book is Peace, Prosperity, and the Courage to Change Course in Life and Business, because that has been my superpower, is to your point, being able to try something, it doesn't work, it completely, utterly fails, and
Yeah.
you just try the next thing. Okay, next. Okay,
Yeah.
next. And I've always, for the most part, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, so I've always
Mhm.
done what I love. And I'm curious, you know, what you say in the book and kind of what your life experience has been, that what do you think keeps people from turning their passion into their profession?
Hmm. Man, it could be today's media, today's distraction of what they see, what they read. That plays a lot on everybody's mind, especially I notice in the younger generation. With my kids, that's the battle right there. They're worried about what other people are doing, what other people are saying, what they're seeing, you know what I mean? So, um, and they that really covers up what's truly what their calling is. It kind of make them feel that they got to be like somebody else. But I think if you spend time putting everything down and just praying or meditating or reading inspirational things or feeding encouraging words, I think you start to find yourself, you start to change your mind, your thinking, and then once you start changing your mind, I mean that's where the miracle happens because you start to speak differently about yourself. You start to believe things differently. And then once you start speaking it out, you're not necessarily being overconfident or arrogant, but in a sense where deep down inside, it can happen. Your actions start to change. And I've noticed that, or I've experienced that many times, um, there are incidents where I was like, prime example is like, you know, to one day my wife and I were having dinner at my in-laws at Papa's house up the road, and we were watching the Lakers on Papa's little TV right on his dinner table. And they're big Laker fans. I wasn't a Laker fan until I got married to my wife. But anyways, that's another story we can talk about off camera, brother. But anyways, um, we were watching the Lakers and Kobe and Shaq era was going back and forth, and I kept seeing that Lakers logo, and I talked to my wife. I tell her, "Hey, what would it be like to maybe one day be ukulele player, the first ukulele player to perform right there at Staples Center, right on that Lakers logo? And, maybe, I don't know, halftime or national anthem." And, we kind of paused and we just laughed it off because it's almost impossible. And, the crazy part is I went to bed that night and it just really started to kind of like, what if? Like, and it got me like anxiety almost. I got kind of scared, like, how and no way, there's no way, it's impossible. But I kept thinking about it. I kept like, oh my gosh, maybe I should try. So I tried. Nothing worked. Long story short, I think it took 7 or 8 years to finally work with the Lakers, kind of deal. There were a lot of things that happened in between that time. I worked with different sports team, NCAA, their basketball stuff. My first national anthem wasn't with the Lakers, although that was my goal. It was with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They gave me a chance first, and I started working with MLB, and then finally. I guess because of the Lakers, their organization is top tier, man. It's hard to break, and they were keeping tabs on me and what I was doing. And I guess I was good enough after several years for them to call me back. But I mean, prime example is, that's what it is. I mean, you just got to start believing. And I think people are maybe hesitant because maybe they feel they're not good enough, or, who are they to think to be successful like that in their own way. I guess, I think. So,
Uh, Man, it was such a great story. I mean, you nailed it. I mean, we see it, and I think people don't realize, and I think that's why you gotta read biographies, you've got to read inspirational
mm,
things, because you start to understand that these people that are at the top of their game, they're still nervous. They're still throwing up before they go on stage. They just know that once they get out there, that it'll all be fine. And
yeah.
it's not something you get over. And I love that reframe of, deciding what's possible, but
Mhm.
then believing in it enough that you just keep walking through the open doors until you get there.
Yeah, 100% on point, man. And nothing is set in stone, nothing is perfect, and a no or a rejection is just a redirection, man. It's a learning curve. It's a character development thing where you got to be open to the no's. And I think I mean, hey, I've gotten so much no's and rejection and say, hey, you're not good enough, or that's not what we're looking for. And what do you mean ukulele? Like, how can that be? You want to perform for our event? Or I mean, you name it. I've gotten it. Nobody knows about it because I keep that dear where I just, it's very important to understand that in order for you to succeed, you need to you have to take your own path. Like you have to go in the trenches, you have to roll up your sleeves, you have to fall down, you gotta get scraped up a little bit. But at the same time, you look back, when at least I look back, it has developed me into such a person where I appreciate the journey itself. Wasn't the destination after a while. Like it wasn't like, oh wow, I got to the big stage. It was like, wow, it took me all that to get to this one point. And when I look back, I realized that it wasn't by myself. I met so many great human beings. I've received so much love and encouragement. And it's not, it's priceless. You cannot put a value on that. It's like, these guys in the industry, in the sports industry, in the teaching industry, and any entertainment, I mean, whatever it was just so meaningful to know that, wow, I met all these people and here I am, and it's kind of cool to reflect on that actually. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, like one of my heroes is Wayne Dyer, who lived a mountain.
Yep.
And he always said that, everything you've been through had to happen to make you the person that you are. And the evidence is that it did.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And,
That's deep, man. Yeah.
I love too that notion of getting in the trenches and rolling up your sleeves. And, I think that's to your point earlier about certainly the youth these days. All they see is the Lamborghini and they see the end result of thousands of missed shots. And how many times was Kobe given the ball and he missed for a game-winning
Mhm.
thing? Like hundreds of times. He's missed shots thousands of times, but we only remember the three-pointer at the end of the game. And Kobe's a perfect example because he was relentless in his practice and relentless in the basics. And you take that to like what I do. I still have to pick up the phone and call people. I don't want to call people, but I know I can help them, and I'm doing a disservice to them if I don't.
Yeah.
You're a good performer and you're going to perform better than the next person. So if you don't go after that gig, you're doing a disservice to the arena. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. And the main thing is, we just got to encourage each other to open their minds and their hearts to just try. If you want to sew something or you want to build something or craft something or I don't know, knit something or I mean, go for it. You start a little Etsy shop or I don't know, just anything that really makes you smile and and gives you a little bit of some joy and happiness. Go for it, and just see where it takes you. And for me, it was the ukulele. Like just wanted to experience that joy and that fulfilling and just jamming carefree with Mr. Ellis and you know that moment that I just think about it, that really sticks to me up until this day because now I want people to feel that by me sharing not just ukulele now, it's the stories behind it now, and that's what led me to writing this book now, and it reflects a lot of my mentors. A lot of them has passed now. Mr. Ellis has passed, and that talks us, stories about it and how that affected me. And now to reflect, just reflecting is it's just deep, man. It's just deep, and I just hope that stories impact others as well along the way. So
Awesome. Dude, what's the launch date for the book? Do you have one yet?
I don't have a launch date, man. This is Hawaiian time, brother. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, it's probably definitely going to be it's a holiday release
Okay.
because I don't know if it's Christmas, maybe New Year's, but it's God's timing, man. When it's ready, it's ready. But we're there in production stages, so it's not too far off. So
Well,
um
I've got
right
I've
now
got
it's
good
yeah.
news and bad news for you.
Okay, good news, bad news, whatever you want.
The good news is the hard work is behind you.
Okay.
The bad news is the harder work is ahead of you.
Okay. I think, Roderick, yeah, I've been thank you for the advice, man. I appreciate the love, man, and it's 100% on point. But yeah, we're not right now. We're in the pre-sale phase, and to call and text and let everybody know through my mailing list and socials, it is hard work, man. You gotta establish that relationship. You gotta revisit that, the connection. And but honestly, Roger, to be this pre-sale phase, I just started like last week and it's flying off the shelves, man. It's just been a blessed experience. I realize that I have so much more supporters than I've realized, and then just it extends way beyond my mailing list and socials. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. So the pre-sales is going really well. I'm not sure when this episode will air, but it probably will be probably in the pre-sale or not. Just go daydreamingwithpurpose.com and see what the status is, man. So
I love it. That was going to be my next question was how do we
okay.
find you?
Sorry.
What about like Instagram, LinkedIn, any of that? Are you big on those platforms?
Yeah, just go to dericksebastian.com, which is my name. You'll see all the platforms there, the updated info. I am on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. Um, am I really engaged? I should be more engaged than, I talk about it. But you know, um, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So
Social media turns into a full-time job. I can
it
attest to
is,
that.
man, for sure.
So I've got a couple more things. First is a selfish question of mine. What does success mean to Derek?
Ooh, that's a good one, Roderick. I'm gonna keep it simple. Success to me is accomplishing anything you put your mind to. Simple as that. Um, growing up, I remember I wanted to make a basketball right in the hoop, and I had a hard time, and I did it, and I felt like I was standing on top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to join a baseball team, and I wasn't the best, but I wanted to start, and I ended up being a starter. And along the way, I ended up being a starting catcher, and that was success to me. Um, ukulele. I had dreams of touring the world and sharing the ukulele. I did it. To me, that's success. I married my high school sweetheart. That is a huge success. We talked about our family. We were very fortunate and blessed to have three healthy kids. Three boys. I mean, they're not angels, but I'm just saying. My wife and I, we don't even drink. We get hangovers, but hey, that's another story. We call it as blessing. That's a success. We still a family. We still, tight. Um, but yeah, just success is anything you put your mind to and you go for it. So
I love
that's
that. I love it.
yeah.
So the last guest left a question for you, but before I ask you that question, you get to leave a question for the next guest. So what would you like to ask the next guest that comes on the show?
Um, man, Roger, you're good, man. This is great, brother. What is your dream? What is your calling that you're afraid to face or try you're afraid to try? If write it all down and don't be afraid, be open. And I remember John Mayer saying this in an interview is he said it's 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 a disgrace to yourself if you don't give it a shot to try and see where it takes you. If you kill the idea without even trying, then why live life? You have to live, just try, see I mean, what is it? What is it that makes you smile? But your what is that? You think that you're not good enough, or that imposter syndrome kicks in, saying that, hey, that's not for you. Just try it anyways. What is it? What is your dream? What do you want to be? So that's my question. I think it's a very open, uncomfortable one, but hopefully that plants a seed of hope and encouragement of just trying to see where it takes you. So,
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to ask. That's right up my alley too. So, all right. So this is the question that was left for you by Roy Osing, who I had on earlier today. This man is a powerhouse. His question was, "What are you doing to be different?"
what am I doing to be different? Hmm. To be honest, um, I feel that I've been different this whole time with this journey of 31 years playing the ukulele. And it did start with a little bit adversity because when I did start playing the ukulele, it wasn't a popular instrument and I did get teased. I did get mocked a little bit because, hey, the in thing is you go to school, you play sports, you know what I mean? But sports was kind of taken away from me for a little while. So I found some joy in playing ukulele. And, growing up, it wasn't the in thing. And they would kind of tease me. And when I started to get good enough to perform and win contests and all that talent shows, adversity came again, and people things were said and it wasn't my thing, it wasn't my intention to, you know, to perceive that or whatever, just but the thing about it is, Mr. Ellis always encouraged me to be yourself. And it doesn't matter what people think, it matters what you feel. And if you feel it, you go after it. When you go after it, you go at full intention. Because you never know, everything leads to something, and that something might change your life. And I always believe in that. If you believe and you want to achieve it, you got to go for it. And that really struck me in many different ways to just be different, man. You got one life, you got one shot. Your callings and purpose always change, but along the way, you look back, it's kind of like, you planting seeds. And you so focus on your journey. You touch lives, you perform. When you look back, you know you don't realize that, but one day when you look back, you planted a garden of love, a garden of encouragement and hope. And to me, I think I did them in a different way. Ukulele, being making history in sports, being the ukulele first ukulele player to be at Diamondbacks, at Arizona, at Lakers, Clippers, to be a TED Talk speaker. And I mean, there's so much that I can say, but it's not really the accomplishments. It's really about me believing that it's okay to be different and take my own route kind of deal. And now looking back, man, it sometimes feel like I planted a forest. It's like, wow, that's so much love. And I think that really means more than just the ukulele itself. It's the relationship. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, buddy, I can't think of a better way to end a show than that one. I thank you so much for coming on. I mean, you and I could talk for hours, but thanks again for being
Yes.
on the show.
Roger, yes, Roger, absolutely, man. What a true honor, and I love your energy, man. And you know what you doing right now and sharing love and light through your podcast. I got to get your book. I got to get it. But man, you come to Maui or Hawaii, man. We got to cross paths, and just make it happen. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Flip Flop fam. All of Derek's info will be in the show notes. The book is coming out soon. Make sure you hop on the pre-sale list. And until next time, keep it on the flip side. Cheers.
aloha.
Easy enough, man. That was fun. I usually don't go
Dude.
that long, but like I said, I get most of my shows are like 20 minutes and we were just jamming. So,
Oh, sorry about that, Roger,
dude,
man.
no worries, man. No worries.
It
Um,
was good, brother. You have such a flow to what you do, and I just want to let you know, brother. This is part of your journey, bro. You got to keep it going, man. You
I
bring out the
appreciate that.
best. Yeah, you bring out the best in others, and you ask questions, and you're very free flowing, and this is it, brother. The best is yet to come for you, man, for sure.
Here's the hoping, right?
Yeah, for sure, man.
So killer,
Absolutely.
man. A bug I want to put in your ear. I don't know what you know about our foundation, but it's called Send a Student Leader Abroad. And
Mm,
my goal for the second half of my life is to send 1 million kids on life-changing trips. And we donate 100% of everything we do. So all the book sales, my coaching sales, everything goes to the foundation. I
Wow.
think I would love to have you as a guest speaker for the kids. So
Yeah.
just think about it. It's spring of next year, so there's lots of time. But we had 100 schools. We're in the pilot program right now. We had 100 schools apply. We picked a school in Katy, Texas, to be our first school. So the kids will start applying for their grants in the
Mm.
next 2 weeks. And so it's like the first year, everything's rolling out. Like we're gonna start
Dude,
helping.
I'm getting goosebumps, Rodric, bro. It's
Well, you
crazy.
can go to send a student leader abroad .com or sasla.org and you can read the whole story. But the idea is know them, only us, you know, and there's things that you learn from travel that you can't learn from anything else. And we want to instill that in kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to
Mm.
afford a trip like that. So, because
Yeah.
I was that kid who couldn't afford a trip like that, and now I've been to 65 countries, you know. So,
Oh my goodness, bro. You gotta
um,
share that story with me too. But I'm on board, dude. This is
awesome.
what it's all about, bro. And listen, you got my contact, my information, my email. Whatever you need, man, and this email goes directly to me. It's not the team. So,
Okay.
um, but yeah, Roderick, this is good, brother. I mean, this is what it's all about, man. And I appreciate you thinking of me being part of this journey, this calling, this movement. This to me, I'm at a point in my career where it's time to give back. It's time to lift others and let them have the shine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And for me, I guess it's more impact. That's what I'm going for. And hopefully, with the impact is income and all that stuff will follow. But it's all
It
about,
always does.
yeah, it does, man. And God is good, man. And like I said, I'm all in, Roderick, and let's make it happen, dude.
Man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna put you on the list. You know,
Yes, sir.
it'll be again spring of next year. We just brought another board member on. A ton of opportunity, but it's, you know, I'm trying to bring in speakers for the kids where they learn what's possible. That's really what
Yeah.
this program is
So
about.
this
The
this
trip
is
is
going to
the
be
end
in
result.
Texas?
This
No,
it's
this is great.
this is in Texas, yeah. So there'll
So
be
so speakers would come to Texas, is that
no, it's
it?
all virtual.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
It's an entrepreneurship based program because that's what I've done my whole life. So they have to submit a little business plan, a little resume.
Yeah.
These are typically seventh and eighth graders. So how they're going to earn the money over the summer, you know, ultimately they have to earn at least $1,000. The trips are around 5 grand. And then if they only earn 1,001, we step in and pay the rest so that they can go on that trip. But they have to
Mm.
meet milestones along the way and they have to be putting the effort in. And, you know, the idea is that they go have that experience. They take that conversation back to a community that isn't talking
Wow.
that way. So
Yeah.
dude, we're excited. I mean, first 5 to 10 kids will be selected here in the next 30 days. So it's like this thing that was a dream on a beach in Thailand, same time as when I came up with the book. You
Dude,
know,
this,
it's
this
all coming real.
automatic. No, this is great. Wow, dude, this is
But your
huge,
story
man.
is super inspirational. You know, that's what they need. So
Thank you, man. Well, I'm just like everybody else, man, just trying to find our way, and hopefully it's good intention and good results to help others as well. But yeah, I mean, dude, thank you so much, Roderick, man. This is great, man, and what a blessing, man. You made my day, bro, for real. You made
likewise,
my
brother,
day.
likewise.
Seriously, bro, I appreciate
So
it big time. Big, big time.
well, we'll
So
keep in touch, man. I'm sure this won't be the last time we talk. So